Hi, welcome to my channel, Adventure in Time and Space. I'm going to be discussing the Three Doctors with my friend Jon Coogan.
Hello,
Okay,
Michelle. Hi, how are you?
hi. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks for
Okay,
having me
I
on.
want to ask. Okay, I want to ask you what your thoughts was on the story, Jon Pertwee's story, The Three Doctors.
Well, I thought it was a fantastic story. A 10th anniversary story. It had a bit of everything. I really enjoyed it. There were a few bad points to it, but mainly I thought it was fantastic. The best, in my opinion, of all the multi-doctor stories.
Yeah, from what I read, this is the first and last multi-doctor series that William Hartnell was in. John, Patrick Troughton was in the Two Doctors, but this one was, with Jon Pertwee. But this was the first for William Hartnell, his first and last one, which is kind of sad. But I thought it was good. I mean, it was exciting, the bickering between the two. And when William Hartnell says, "Oh, so you're my replacement," the dandy and the clown, they both looked at
Yeah,
each other. It's like, what?
good.
And
It
another
was.
thing,
Yeah,
go
it
ahead.
had a bit of everything. It had three doctors. It had Lethbridge, Stewart, and Benton, and much bigger roles. The Brigadier was very good the whole way through it. He had much more to say, and he was a much more humorous character. I'm not sure if that worked so well. There was lots of scenes in it when he didn't seem to want to believe anything the doctor told him. His
Uh,
first time in the TARDIS, he didn't even believe that. He thought it was an optical illusion. He
uh,
played it a bit over humorous, but I thought he was really good.
and what really surprised me is how when Benton first went in, the Brigadier wasn't in it. It was Jon Pertwee, second Doctor, Joe Grant, and Sergeant Benton. And he walked in and he was just looking and they say, "Well, say it. It's bigger on the outside. Everybody else, it's small, it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Everybody else does." He says, "Nothing surprises me." You do,
Yeah,
basically. He wasn't surprised, basically. Another thing of interest. Now we know Tom Baker always offered jelly babies.
yeah.
And I think it was the second doctor that offered someone the jelly baby. I don't know who. I think it was Benton. He
Sergeant
offered,
Benton.
yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't in that in the fourth Doctor with Tom Baker? You know, I was kind of wondering why they put it in with the third Doctor. That little bit of it kind of just makes me wonder.
It might have just been something they thought of as an idea, and they had it once, and they thought, well, for Tom Baker, let's put this in, let's add this to the character. They might have did something like that. It was strange seeing, I'll have to admit, because everyone associates Tom Baker with the Jelly Babies.
Yeah,
But it was,
that's it was different. It was different. What did you think about whenever they face Omegon with this? Oh, I don't know, this whatever box, and his recorder fell right in the middle of it, and they were handing it to Omicron, and then he refused to take it, and it fell and exploded, and then everyone went back to their time.
well, the whole storyline is there's a cosmic ray, a light beam, coming from a black hole, which is draining all the energy from the universe, including the Time Lords. Now, effectively, the guy behind this is a guy called Omega. Now, Omega's a Time Lord. There are different variations in the history of Doctor Who, depending on what you sort of look at, the history of Omega. But for the purposes of this show, what happened was he was a solar engineer. He was playing with stars. He managed to sort of blow up a star and make it turn into a supernova. And the Time Lords, they harnessed that power and give them the energy to use time travel. Unfortunately, Omega flew through the black hole and ended up in this antimatter universe, which pissed him off madly. So that's why he sent this energy beam back down through. Now, he sent it to look for a Time Lord. Why he didn't send it to Gallifrey, I don't know, but it arrived on Earth with those jail guards, I think they're called, those big wobbly things with the one eye.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so they hunted down the Doctor to bring them back.
What's
It was quite nice seeing Omega. Omega was quite an imposing character, very tall, very booming voice, very theatrical, very grand, and his costume was fantastic. That sheets of metal all stuck together.
yeah.
He was very, very good, I thought. What did you think?
He was very, from what I get from him, he was very angry at the Time Lords because of what happened. Yeah, the costume, everything was great, and whenever they tried to remove the mask, there was nothing there.
Yeah,
That was interesting. Even though you have voice and you lift up, but I think the person was like under it, so it looked like he didn't have a head. But when you saw at first, it was confused. It took the game warden or the whatever him and took
yeah,
back. And then whenever they were in Betsy and they came back, and he said, get back. It takes Betsy, knowing
yeah,
the doctor's in Betsy. And then the doctor that was in the lab where, Doctor Who, the third doctor was,
yeah.
that took that doctor. And that's what they said. Well, the energy, it was confused. It was definitely confused. Because in certain places where the laboratories where the doctor would be working and then being in Bessie, it didn't get the right thing, get him. But when he went out, it got him and Joe because Joe wouldn't go back, you know.
But I suppose Bessie had traces of the Doctor and traces of Time Lord all over the seats, the steering wheel. So if you're hunting by smell of a Time Lord, for instance, you're going to go straight there, aren't you? And as soon as they touch it, zap the way up the light tunnel. So I thought it was pretty good. The story itself started off quite quickly. Doctor Who can be, well, classic Doctor Who can be quite slow to start. It can take a bit of a while to build momentum. This was more or less straight in with that poacher guy. He found the weather balloon. You got the
Yeah,
crackle, and off you went.
yeah.
And it worked on from there when Tyler turned up and stuff. So I thought it worked really well.
I really, it was getting well. I like the part where the two were bickering, and then
Yeah.
when you went back and they said the two were not getting along. Let's pull the first doctor out of his time stream and ring it. The reason why he wasn't where he was just on the screen is because of health wise. And I thought it was pretty good, you know, because Time Warner said, well, these two bickering, let's get the first doctor. He'll set them straight. And he did. He was like the grandfather type person to get them thinking.
Oh yeah, the
And,
most old stuff and squabbling, yeah.
yeah, but the funny part is when they were the funny part is when he shows up, Joe is so dang confused. She's like, when they said, well, I'm a Time Lord. And then she said, oh, you're both Time Lords. And they says, we're not just both Time Lords, we're the same Time Lords.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because she couldn't, and then whenever the third doctor and Miss Joe Grant basically got into that universe, that place where they ended up in, and the Brigadier came in and he saw the second doctor, which he already knows. He thought the third doctor changed back to the second look. And he said, well, why did you change your appearance back?
There was a lot of comedy in the episode, which I thought was pretty good, really. But I thought completely through it, I can't really find very much fault with the episode. I thought the jail guards, those one-eyed things, I thought they were a bit sort of rubbishy. One of them, pardon me, you can see his feet underneath the costume. And if you look at the 1980s, basically, it was 1970s, sorry, sci-fi and sci-fi special effects were still very limited compared to what we were today. So the actual creeping monster that made Bessie go away, it looked a bit sus now, but in those days that was quite high end, believe it or not.
Yeah, back then, like I said, you see the classic Goo episodes, story arc or whatever. The special effects look so cheesy because back then you look at they didn't have the kind of, special effects that we have now. Like, I like the regeneration scenes in the new Who because it's like a lot better than the
Oh
classic.
yeah, completely. Yeah.
But it's because of the special effects is more advanced. Um, I did find this up. Jon Pertwee is always uh, basically a funny, comical type of, the way he does things, and
Yeah.
that's how I felt that he wanted to bring the doc. Yeah, he had a serious side, but he wanted to lighten things up. Now, Patrick Troughton in some of his episodes too was lightheartedness, you know, but sometimes he's serious. So, like I said, this episode, I mean, it was good. I mean, like I said, it's like having another Time Lord on the same timeline as the other Time Lord. It's kind of no Time Lords to go back on their timeline, basically. If you look at the back in the Time Lords or in Gallifrey, one of the guys got upset at what they were doing, and they like, if we don't do it, kind of mentioning it's important that they did this because they're having an energy drain on their planet because of that black hole.
Oh yeah.
So,
As Amiga said, the Timers were desperate, so let us send two. In fact, they sent three. Now, I thought William Hartnell, for the very limited amount of time he was in it, was very, very good. Now, he was so ill, he couldn't actually come into the studios and record any of the sequences. And when you did see him, he did look visibly older. He's still the same character, but he seemed to lack a bit of the energy, but he was pretty ill, I suppose. He retired, 7 years ago before that because he was ill. But he
yeah,
was very,
because
very good.
it's because he drank too much and smoked too much, and it was heart related, basically.
Um,
But when they had him in there just sitting down with him on
yeah,
the TV screen, you could still feel a little bit. You could, yeah, like I said, you could tell he's a little worn out type thing, but he doesn't really let show all that much because
yeah.
he
Well, he
does.
couldn't do that actually.
No,
When they
actually,
recorded, when they recorded his scenes, they took him to one particular local film studio and did it there. And even all the publicity shots for the three doctors with the other two doctors, Troughton and Pertwee, they were all done in William Hartnell's back garden. He couldn't go any further than that. That's how ill the man actually was. But he was
uh,
fantastic. The guy's a legend.
what do you think of Joe Grant in this episode?
I thought Joe Grant was all right in this episode. Joe Grant is obviously very pretty. She's got this sort of childlike sort of trust in the doctor, and she's quite screamy, and it's not something you would take as a serious companion or a serious sort of person. But she was quite good in this. She pointed out
Yeah,
quite a few different things, and I wouldn't say she played a massive part in it, but she certainly wasn't passive in the action. I thought she was pretty good.
she did show concern for the doctor basically, and she didn't want to leave him alone because she wanted to. She really did play a part in this. Um, Whenever Benton and her and that our scientific doctor were in, like back there, you know,
Yeah.
in a room area, they were wanting to get out, and I mean, Joe even, went with it too. But like I said, this episode showed us Patrick Troughton working with Jon Pertwee side by side. Now that was kind of interesting to see the second Doctor and third Doctor working side by side, in doing a story together. Because it's like,
Well, I thought Troughton was great in the show. I thought, well, it's the first time I've ever seen him in color as a doctor, anyway. And I
yeah,
thought he looked really well, and I thought he was outstanding. If they had had color in the 60s,
yeah,
people, not everyone likes Patrick Troughton. A lot of his better stories are missing, the same as Hartnell. But I thought he was fantastic in this, and he did have a tremendous chemistry with Jon Pertwee.
yeah, he wrote. That's the one thing that made this episode good is the chemistry. That's what I was about to say. The chemistry between the two. And also what's really funny is he picked up the recorder and started playing Twinkle Twinkle. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we gotta figure this out. And here he's playing Twinkle Twinkle.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
like two brothers fighting, weren't they? So big brother, little brother. So
yeah, like I said, the chemistry was really good, which made this story good. And I love William Hartnell's, the way he responded, like, "You're one of my placements, the dandy and the clown," and it also reminds me of New Who, when the Word Doctor met the 10th and 11th Doctor.
yeah,
He called them
the brother
Sand
doctor.
Shoes and Chinny. And when
Yeah,
I heard that, I have the DVD of it. And when I watched that, and then when I watched this episode, I was like, oh, it's the same thing. And even also whenever Patrick Troughton showed up, and he said, "Oh, you redecorated. I don't like it." He
yeah,
didn't like how the TARDIS was set up, and it also kind of reminded me when the War Doctor and the 10th and 11th Doctor got inside the TARDIS, and the 10th Doctor says, "Oh, you redecorated." So it's like a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not like they're it's not like in the New Who that they're taking those little insequences that was in Classic Who into New Who. Just a little. I think putting it in New Who with the newer actors kind of still gives it a little bit of twist.
oh yeah.
That's what.
It's a homage, as they say. But yeah, that was great. But I thought the whole thing was pretty good. The denouement, the sort of end when we get the end, as you were saying at the beginning regarding the recorder. Do you know how that actually works?
No,
What
how?
actually happened then? What happened was when they traveled up the light beam. Pardon me, I'm gonna cough. Sorry, when they traveled up the light beam, there was some sort of process, and what was the gel guards, the big jelly monsters,
Yeah.
as they traveled the light beam, they were effectively sort of transformed into a way that they could exist in a universe of antimatter. However, the recorder, which is on the TARDIS console, fell inside the TARDIS console and fell inside the force field. So when they
Oh,
arrived there, it was still inside and it hadn't been converted. So it
oh,
was still matter. So when it
that's what
touched antimatter, bang.
that's what they said when they said that the show. Oh my god! I call it Omegon, or however you say it. They showed him, and that's before they showed him. He said, "Oh, that's where my recorder goes." And he about ready to pull it out. I think he was gonna
Yeah.
pull it out, and John's like, "No." And then they
Don't
realized that is the only thing that has been, you know, over
kept in
into.
original state, yeah.
Yeah, and the ending was interesting. How they made all those people. Let smoke
Oh
um
yeah.
walk
And
through
this
to get back,
singularity, yeah.
and it's like you could see Joe Grant not wanting to go. And before that, the third Doctor told Joe Grant, "It's like, trust me, wherever I say to you, do it." And I think he knew when they got back there, whatever it is, and when he wanted her to go back, it had to be Benton to help get her to cross over, because she didn't
Yeah.
want to go. So
Well, she's very good. She didn't want to leave them, so but I
oh,
thought it was
sure.
quite good. The singularity, the effect. These days it would be a beam like Clara stepped into in
Yeah,
New Hood, but in those days they could only afford smoke, I suppose. So you stepped into a stream of smoke, but I
I
thought it went
thought
really well.
I thought that was a good. I thought that was a good special effect in a way, instead
I
of
thought the sets
a
for the whole
smoke.
show were not expensive looking, but they were more expensive looking than a lot of the other ones. I suppose it was the 10th anniversary, but Omega's Domain with those jelly walls and stuff like that, I thought it
Yeah.
was all pretty. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we pretty much discussed this episode and covered a lot of this stuff. Um,
Okay.
and thank you for coming and joining
No
this.
problem. Pleasure.
Joining us. I want to say this. I'm going to do it this way. Come on. Oh, sorry. Okay. I want you to subscribe, like, and share this channel. And also, in comments down below if you have anything to say or anything that we didn't cover. And also, I am giving a shout out for Not My Doctor Who. Like, subscribe, share their YouTube channel. Check out their videos. They have a live stream on Fridays, 8 p.m. UK time. And also Therius, he has a YouTube channel. Like and share his and sub. So I just wish you guys all have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.